We are now recording.
Excellent.
Hi, this is Cheryl Mays from Rise and Shine CF, and I am so excited to come to this segment of the Author's Lane. We have been doing segments where we have been interviewing authors for the last week and a half, and we have had some extraordinary individuals come and share the inspiration behind the book. They've shared the heart that put these words on paper that you have the ability to read. And now you have the ability to hear from them. And today I am excited because I have Miss Monica Smith. Monica Smith is not only the owner of Mindful Endeavors, she's also an author. And her book is entitled Stress Lightly, Practicing the Art of Self-Care. Hello, Monica.
Hi, thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, we appreciate it. We have been having a great time with a lot of other authors as we come on and just kind of have a conversation about where did the book come from, what kind of techniques do you use when you're writing, things that people that are not only readers, but there are some people, especially during this time when we're homebound, that might say, you know what, I've been thinking about writing a book and now I have this time and I just really want to get started. So it's been enlightening for them in that regards also. So tell us a little bit about your Mindful Endeavors company. What is it that you do exactly?
Sure. Mindful Endeavors is a company that works with people, organizations, businesses, teams, and individuals to work on personal and professional development. I developed a signature program called the 5 R's of Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I also work on a 360-degree wellness program with eight primary domains. So it's really all about empathic leadership and personal development. I always tell people practice makes progress. There's no such thing as perfection. And remind everybody to stress lightly.
There you go, especially now, right? Stress lightly. It's interesting because I'm also in the training field. And so it's kind of a segue. A lot of trainers and coaches, their segue and that second stream is to actually put it into print.
Absolutely. And that was one of the motivating factors of writing the book was to actually have something that when I talk, when I train, that it's a takeaway. Because we know as trainers, right, or educators in any capacity, people don't always get 100% of what we say. So having something to leave them that was tangible was important to me.
It is, because a lot of times, you know, while you're at the training or you're in the moment, you're trying to grasp everything that you can. And then a lot of times there are things that you forget or things that it's not applicable at that moment. And so to have that takeaway where you can actually look at it later and go, oh, wait a second, that's right. This is another tool that I have. I love resources and tools.
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Now it says here that you are, so we talked about the wellness as it relates to personal and professional development. Yeah. So you have also written on 2 anthologies.
Yes, I have 2 anthologies. One of them is called Heartfelt Leadership Tips, and the other one is called Hearing God's Voice Above the Chaos.
Okay, and so now is this the 3rd book or is this somewhere in between the 2? What is the ranking of the 3?
This one is the 3rd is my, the Stress Lightly is my 3rd book, and it's a solo authored book. And really participating in those anthologies as a contributing author or contributing co-author really gave me the confidence and a boost to be able to do it on my own. So also participating in those various different projects connected me to different people. So one of the things that I encourage other people to do is, you know, get connected to people who are already where you want to be, right? So if you have a goal, then find people who are already doing that and get connected with them, because there's so much that we can learn from each other.
It is true. You know, they say it's the people that you surround yourself with. if you want to get someplace, then that's the people that you surround yourself with, because you'll have the opportunities will actually come, and you'll have that ability to network, which is also so very important.
Yes, yeah, networking is really key, and it's not just networking, like just going somewhere and being in circles. It's really purposeful and intentional connections.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I think that, this is a great example of how we got connected, Cheryl. It's purposeful and intentional connections, and that's what people need to focus on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's interesting for folks that are thinking about becoming authors, is to actually co-author, which gives you, an opportunity to kind of, rather be a chapter or several chapters, however your contribution is to that. It gives you an opportunity to, kind of get your feet wet and lean into it a bit. And then, you have the ability to say, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Now,
right.
Now I can do this. I can put my name solely on the book cover. So that is always
Cheryl,
very cool.
Honestly, I can't say that I absolutely knew everything that I was doing when I started writing my own book, but it's that process of taking chances and taking risks to get the reward, right? Mm-hmm. So I did have a little bit of experience being the co-author in those anthologies, but when it was time for me to do my own book, I really jumped in with both feet, and it was a lot of learning. It was a lot of learning.
There you go. It's that labor of love, right?
Yes.
So now tell us about Stress Lightly, Practicing the Art of Self-Care. What's the premise?
So the premise of the book is it's set up, and actually it's set up in two different parts. So the first part is really walking everybody through the different types of self-care and the 5 R's of enterprise. And then the second half of the book is all about mindfulness practices and different strategies and coping strategies that we can use. I did set the book up to be somewhat like a journal as well. So there's lots of spaces at the end of every chapter that people can write notes in. There's a practice at the end of every chapter. There's a mindful moment, and there's some practical applications. So it was really important to me to be able to share these things and have people be able to have practical tools to take away when they're feeling that sense of stress or overwhelm. And most importantly, to let them know that they're not alone.
Mm-hmm. That is, I love things that are practical. You can immediately, apply them to your life, and you can see the changes that actually starts happening just from making sure that you have the tools and the techniques and you're applying them.
Yes.
There's that saying, right? This is, knowledge is great, but applied knowledge is far better.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of people have that I've been drawn to from my work expertise and just academically. They have programs that are really high level. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to kind of chunk it down into like little pieces that we can do. Like not everybody wants to read a lot of things when they're in the moment of stress and overwhelm. They just want a tidbit, something that is going to help them in the moment. And I really think that I've done that in Stress Lightly, and I think it would be a great tool for people.
That's great. So guys, here you have it. If you are in a position, and stress comes in so many different facets, but if you are in a position where you feel overwhelmed in one regard or another, this is a great opportunity for you to not only have information, but by journaling it or having the exercises where you can actually write your responses or your thoughts immediately after, actually keeps you thinking. It's that level of thinking that you want to get deeper into.
Yes.
And so this is a great book to be able to do that. So this is your first book solo, and so you've had the other 2 books with co-authors. So when you sat down to actually get started on your book? What was your process?
Well, the first thing that I did was I did a book map. So that's a technique that I used. It's like an outline, except for I really kind of put it all on paper, kind of like in a circle, like in a graph of what chapters, what information that I wanted to do to be able to share with others, and then broke it down into categories, and that really helped. Just putting that pen to paper and having a map or an outline to how I was going to set up the book.
And so now, because the question for a lot of readers is, you hear that this book took 2 years to write, this book took 6 months, this book took 30 days. So how long did your book actually take you?
Well, my book took in total, from the time that I said, I'm going to start working on this to write this book, it took a year from literally the start of my idea that I was going to write the book to the actual holding the book in my hand, published copy.
Okay.
So, yeah, it took about a year.
Which is, it's so interesting, because I think that's one of the pieces too, is people go, okay, gosh, well, I have all of this information. Now I need to organize it and then, actually sit down and get started.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, because I know for mine, it's like you have that pre-information that you've kind of been logging. And, when it came time to sit down, you had a lot of stuff that were already, that you had already put together.
Yeah. And I think that's, for me, for Stress Lightly, it took that long. I had a very specific vision for the book, for Stress Lightly. So I wanted to make sure that it was going to be the tool that I needed it to be. Sometimes people can, like the anthologies, my contributions to the anthologies, they didn't take long at all. And if I was going to free write something, then that wouldn't have necessarily taken a year. But because I had a specific idea for the book and how I was going to utilize the book, it took a little longer, yeah.
And I think that's an important piece too, because you said how you were going to utilize the book, because the book actually mirrors your program that you offer.
Yes.
So, and that's another opportunity, if you have something that you are doing and it's part of your profession, that if you decide to do a book, to do something that mirrors what you do, and it helps for credibility, it helps for that expertism. So, it's the different facets and way people use their book.
Right. And I would just encourage anybody, Cheryl, you know what, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And I know that I might have different credentials than others, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to have credentials to be able to write a book, because there's power in our stories. And our stories are what connect us, and really our stories are what resonate with others.
And that is so vital, because your story has an impact. And they say everybody has a story, but unless you share it, then you don't know how it can actually help someone else.
Right.
So that is so important. So thank you for sharing this information with us. Guys, listen, Stress Lightly, practicing the art of self-care. If you are, especially now, when we are homebound, and depending on where you are in the country, you're on a stay or some sort of quarantining, just to stay at home and stay safe. But here's an opportunity for you to also kind of renew yourself. Use this time for some self-care, which is often what's neglected as we do the hustle and bustle of just everyday life. We often neglect that portion of it. So I do want to ask you a question, and it's a little quirky.
I love those.
Okay, here we go. So as a writer, what would you choose as your mascot, avatar, or spirit animal?
I think I would choose a unicorn.
Okay.
Now, do I have to tell you why?
Of course, you got to tell us why.
Because it is just, there's such power in imagination, and it's bright and it's cheerful. It's unique, and I think that we're all unique in our own ways. And yeah, definitely a unicorn. And I used to love them when I was little.
That's your symbol. Did you have little unicorn figurines?
I did. I had all that stuff. And I had the little strawberry shortcake dolls. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but had
Oh,
those
okay.
little
I
things.
do remember the strawberry shortcake doll. Oh my gosh. And so I have another question. Everyone typically now has a word for the year, a
Oh, yes.
word that kind of grounds you. It's your affirmation, it's your mantra, it's that glue that kind of brings you back when you're off course. And so what is your word?
Well, it's consistency.
Ah, okay.
And I have it right here on my desk. And it's definitely something that does anchor me. And I go back to it. I have it put up so I can see it. I have it on my desk. I have it on the mirror in my bathroom. I had my kids pick a power word for the year.
Okay.
So, but yeah, definitely consistency. And it's been my anchor so far. And it's been something that I've had to reflect on quite a bit, especially with everything else that's going on now.
Yeah, yeah. So the book is available on Amazon.
Yes.
Okay.
I have it.
There you go. Because I have something here. I am going to share my screen. See if this works. Share computer. Oh, share my screen. I want to share this though. Oh, geez. I might not be able to get it. Are you seeing anything?
Not a thing.
Okay. Well, we're not
Only your lovely face.
Well, we are not going to worry about it because obviously.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go. Ta-da! Don't you love technology?
I do.
All right, let's see here. Here we go. There it is.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So there you go, everyone. This is what the book looks like. It is by Miss Monica Smith, Stress Lightly, Practicing the Art of Self-Care. You can follow Monica on your website if you want to give us your website.
Yes, it's www.stresslightly.com. And I have a closed Facebook group. It's a social learning group. So there's lots of free content in there, and that's also called Stress Lightly. So if you look for Stress Lightly, you'll most likely find me.
There you go. Okay. So, and I'm going to put that in the comment section for everyone. So it will be stresslightly.com. And then your social media handles?
Is Mindful Endeavors and Stress Lightly.
Perfect. I'm going to write that down. Ta-da. All right.
On Instagram, it's Mindful Endeavors, yeah.
Okay. So Mindful Endeavors is a tag that they will probably find you and be able to follow you. And if you're interested, this is a great opportunity to join a Facebook group, which I think everybody is kind of gravitating and connecting through Facebook groups now, which is great because there's no need to be isolated. There is far too many opportunities. And to have an opportunity where it's self-awareness and you actually get to commingle with some other individuals that are just so excited about renewing during this time and reviving and rejuvenating. And it's just a great, great opportunity. So Monica, thank you so much for joining us on the Author's Lane.
Yes, thanks for having me. I appreciate your time and I appreciate being here with everyone. Thank you.
Absolutely. So go to Amazon, get the book. And I always have one final question.
Yes.
And I talk about reviews because I think it's great for individuals to take a few moments to write a review. It's like 2 or 3 minutes out of your time, but for an author, it's incredible. It's a great opportunity. So what is your point of view on receiving reviews from readers?
Oh, I really love it. I appreciate it greatly. It is definitely helpful. A lot of people look at the reviews before they make purchases,
Mm-hmm.
so it really is helpful, and people do really pay attention to them. And I love reading them. I love reading the feedback. No matter what it is, I love to read it. I think it's really helpful, and I think feedback is hugely important for all of us.
There you go. So yes, definitely go to Amazon, get the book, and then once you get the book, complete all of the book, and then write a review. There you go. 1, 2, 3. I love simple steps. So thank you today for joining us on the Author's Lane. I am so excited to continuously bring to you an author that will share their inspiration, that will just share their heart and allow you to connect with the individual that you always see those nice pictures on the back of the book, and you want to know, who is that person? What do they do? Well, here's an opportunity for you to be able to do that, is to join us every day on the Author's Lane, and then again in the evening when we have the watch party. So Cheryl Mays from Rise and Shine CF. Thank you, Monica Smith, author
Thank you.
of Stress Lightly, practicing the art of self-care. Have an amazing day. Grab a book, have some laughs, enjoy a mystery, help yourself to be better, and whatever happens, don't just wake up in the morning, but rise and shine. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.